Now that we have these tools on supply and demand, we can take this model and apply it to things that we see happening in the real world. One of your assignments is that you're going to be finding an article, looking at a particular market, noting changes in the market, and you're going to do the same sort of analysis for that article and write about it. Write a little bit about the market, what the expected outcome is demand shifting, is supply shifting, what is expected to happen to price or quantity, or maybe even taking a look at how the article states the outcome. Because a lot of times what you'll find is that in the writing of such articles, people misuse terms. And they'll talk about the price going up, and as a result of price going up, demand goes down, but demand doesn't go down when the price goes up. Quantity demanded goes down when the price goes up. So it's important to make those distinctions and call people out when they write the wrong thing. So the first article I want to talk about is a link on Carmen for you, and it's the article called America Renews Its Love Affair with Butter from the Wall Street Journal. And in this article, take a look and read through it, but I've summarized basically what's going on here. And in this market, they state that more home gourmets are using butter. There's a lot of interest in cooking using fairly unprocessed foods. A lot more people have this as a hobby where they're really into creating gourmet meals at home. And the other issue here is that there are concerns about butter substitutes. So there used to be such a concern about the fat and the kind of fat in butter, and all of these substitutes were made, maybe not just because of health concerns, but maybe there were cost concerns also. But now we've decided, or evidence shows, that the butter substitutes might be worse for us than the butter itself, and we're compromising maybe good flavor for something that is inferior. So, what is this going to do in this market? These are both things that are going to affect the demand for butter. And so, what this means is people are going to substitute butter for these other butter options, margarine or yogurt spreads or whatever. And so, our demand is going to increase. And more gourmets using butter, it's the same thing. These are both things that are going to increase demand. And so we would expect to see more butter bought and sold in the market, and we would expect to see the price of butter going up as a result. The second article that I want to talk about, this is another link that you have on Carmen, regards coffee and looks at what's going on in the regions where coffee is produced. So it's another article from the Wall Street Journal, Coffee Beans Come Home to Roast. And so changes going on in this market. They talk about the production of coffee, Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia produce 60% of the world's coffee. And what we're seeing is that there's increasing consumption of coffee in those markets, in the areas where coffee is being produced. And this wasn't traditionally the case. So we have increasing consumption in the coffee producing regions. That's one big change happening in the market. Why is this happening? Because incomes are going up in these countries. And so if their demand for coffee is increasing because their incomes are going up, then we know that coffee must be considered a normal good in these countries. And they're switching away from tea, which would suggest that tea is an inferior good for these countries. The other big change that is going on is a problem in production. There is a fungal disease in Central America and drought in Brazil. These are both things that are affecting supply. So we have these two things going on. This first one with the increase in consumption in the coffee producing regions. This is going to cause an increase in demand if we do our basic supply-demand analysis. And the fungal disease and the drought in Brazil, these are both things that are affecting supply and causing a decrease in supply. And so what we have here is clearly we are going to end up with the price of coffee increasing, and we won't know for sure the effect on quantity and equilibrium because we don't know how big these changes are relative to each other.